Good afternoon, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here today, surrounded by so many professionals who play a key role in shaping the access to knowledge and culture. Thank you, Marie, for introducing myself. I am indeed the director of the Flemish Library Association that is in Belgium, but I am strongly connected to EBLIDA. Today I will be discussing the role and the opportunities of artificial intelligence in libraries from an international perspective, as well as the new AI Act. However, I should mention that I am not an AI expert, nor do I work in a library, but I do work on a daily basis with public libraries and scientific libraries, also archives and documentation centers. Well, to begin with, let me introduce you to EBLIDA. How many of you already know EBLIDA? Okay, some of you do. Let me tell you something more without delving too deeply. I'll provide a brief overview of what EBLIDA does and stands for. EBLIDA is a key advocate for libraries across Europe. It represents library associations and institutions at a European level, aiming to influence policy decisions that impact libraries. EBLIDA is a community and networking hub with 122 members from over 32 countries, and EBLIDA represents 65,000 libraries in Europe. At the heart of an organization like EBLIDA, there are dedicated professionals. In the picture on the left, you can see the members of the executive committee of EBLIDA and of the secretariat. And in the picture on the right, you see the participants of our conference earlier this year in Lisbon. EBLIDA's mission is to promote a sustainable society where citizens in Europe enjoy freedom of expression and free access to information, education, and culture. EBLIDA's mission is also to engage libraries in maintaining a high level of democratic participation of all European citizens in a political debate based on verified information in order to reinforce social cohesion, individual accomplishment, and economic development. And the last part of EBLIDA's mission is to advocate for equitable access to library collections and resources by pursuing a strategy of sustainable copyright. So in short, EBLIDA facilitates networking and knowledge sharing, and also advocates for libraries, so promotes the work of libraries. One of the key initiatives undertaken by EBLIDA in collaboration with Public Libraries 2030, IFLA, LIBER and NAPLE Forum is the Library Manifesto. It is published in 18 languages earlier this year, and it aimed to influence the European elections and highlighted the critical role libraries play in society. There is this new project called ELAN. EBLIDA and the EU have recently signed the agreement for the Creative Europe Network project ELAN, which stands for European Library Association Network. ELAN is a 4-year work plan that will last until the end of 2028, under the headline Build Capacity in Europe's Library Associations and Level the Playing Field in the EU in a handful of areas. These areas match the EU strategic focus as they are expressed in the work plan for culture. One of the packages of ELAN specifically addresses the readiness of library associations and libraries' level of readiness with regards to e-lending, metaverses, and artificial intelligence. It's obvious that this is a very ambitious work program, and we are looking forward to getting started. Now, let's shift our focus to the topic of artificial intelligence. Do you remember the time when introduced in libraries? Well, libraries are much more than buildings filled with books. They are hubs of learning, innovation, and community. And in today's rapidly changing world, libraries are evolving alongside with technology. And just like computers, AI is here to stay for a while. However, changing rapidly, the role of librarians is more crucial than ever. We'll explore how AI is impacting the library sector and how we can leverage these changes to continue fulfilling our mission of providing accessible and inclusive services for all. Let me share some insights into EBLIDA's position on AI. EBLIDA, through its working group on library legislation, has produced a pivotal document named Recommendations on Library Legislation and Policy in Europe. The document was presented and approved by the Council of Europe. In a broad statement, the recommendations mention the potential of technology, such as AI, to improve the role of libraries in society. They defend that libraries are, and I quote, at the forefront of the digital transformation and play a pivotal role within the book and information chains, both digital and printed. The adoption of cross-cutting technologies and the implementation of transformative capabilities using artificial intelligence and algorithmic systems can create the potential to enhance this role. This is the quote. Regarding specific actions, the recommendations explicitly state that member states should ensure regulation on AI products to protect privacy and equity principles, including user education in libraries. Member states should also promote the role of libraries as forums in which to exchange practices on the ethical use of AI technologies in libraries. However, in order to achieve this, there should be adequate training of staff, and I really want to emphasize this, training of the staff is really important, to ensure that they are able to make proper use of the new tools and services in libraries. Libraries also have a role to play to ensure users have access to information, including being able to provide support and guidance. This implies a deeper knowledge and know-how of generative and large language models. Libraries should seek to obtain electronic access to information resources on behalf of users and provide public access points with suitable levels of support and guidance, enabling independent use of digital content and information. Furthermore, AI tends to raise ethical questions, including those of copyright. This might affect libraries, which have a role to play in the balance between copyright law and access to information. Therefore, libraries should reasonably preserve authors' intellectual property without compromising the library's users' access to information. In summary, EBLIDA acknowledges the impact that the new technologies have on the services libraries provide, including AI. This impact can be very positive if harnessed correctly. To ensure this, libraries should ensure regulation of AI according to law and privacy and equity principles. They should also promote their role as a forum for discussion and exchange on the ethical use of AI in libraries, and train their staff on the use of new technologies, of new tools and services, but also train their staff to a point where they can impart their knowledge to users. Although this might seem a rather short list of skills, These are in addition to other skills library staff should possess to fully harness the potential of the library. These are some other skills that are implied throughout the recommendations, so discovery, digital literacy, media literacy, knowledge of the law, and education and training. Of course, there are some ethical questions, as mentioned earlier. There are biases in search results, and libraries must promote inclusivity. One of the problems is the lack of transparency in decision-making processes and the questions about quality of AI that depends on the data quality. So I've seen this example of an AI system that was being trained to recognize wolves and dogs. So they uploaded pictures of wolves in the snow and of dogs in the grass, on the grass. So they trained the system on these pictures, and then a picture was uploaded of a wolf on the grass and was asked, is this a wolf or a dog? And the system was wrong because he made its conclusions on the fact that there was snow or no snow. So it hasn't been trained correctly. So it's very important that there are people who control the search results. Then, of course, there are privacy questions. AI is tracking users' behavior for personalization, and libraries must balance innovation with the protection of user data. To conclude, AI is a very polluting industry, so maybe we should use AI to think of solutions to save the climate. So artificial intelligence can be used to accelerate and optimize administrative tasks, allowing librarians to dedicate more time to engaging with library users. There is an important shift in tasks of librarians. We cannot let AI replace the librarians, but the librarians' tasks can be helped by AI, so that there is more time to get in the connection with the users of the library. I would like to talk about one example from Belgium. This is the KBR, the National Scientific Library of Belgium. Many of the books in the warehouse have not yet been entered into the online catalog, making them invisible to the public. A tool was built on a Microsoft Power platform that allowed the library to process and validate the data using artificial intelligence. They make a scan or a picture of the title page, and there is an automatic detection of metadata using AI. A human person validates the information, and it is imported into the library management system. It is a very powerful application that allowed the KBR to process 19,000 scans of title pages fairly quickly, which would have taken an average cataloger nearly 5 years to do so. Libraries can provide the public with access to AI tools and licenses, allowing visitors to explore and apply AI themselves. They should also interact with patrons about AI. Libraries should facilitate discussions and educational programs about AI to raise public awareness of the impact and opportunities of AI technology. Without high-level thinking, however, artificial intelligence becomes a threat. You need critical skills when using AI, which produces information at a very high speed, but this information needs to be checked. When I was preparing this presentation, I looked up my own name in an AI tool, and he said, well, there are many people who are called Jessica Jacobs. Could you help me? Yeah, sure. The one that works for the VVB-AD. Oh yeah, let me tell you something. So there was a long explanation about myself, stating that I work in construction because the VVB-AD is an organization in construction. Of course, I know that this isn't true, but if this was a totally different topic that I don't know anything about, I would just copy-paste it and, yeah, this information would be the case. To conclude, let me say a few words about the AI Act. The AI Act was officially adopted by the EU in June 2024, and it is the first ever legal framework on AI. It's the first of its kind to establish comprehensive binding rules for the development, deployment, and use of AI across Europe. Or across the EU, I should say. Yeah. The AI Act introduces a risk-based framework that categorizes AI systems based on the potential harm they could cause. AI applications are divided into several risk categories: the unacceptable risk, the high risk, limited risk, and minimal or no risk. Systems falling under the unacceptable risk category, such as those that may violate fundamental rights, are outright banned. High-risk systems, which could significantly impact people's safety or fundamental, for example, in healthcare or law enforcement, are subject to stringent requirements and oversight. And then for the lower risk categories, the Act introduces lighter obligations, such as transparency requirements for AI that interacts directly with humans. Additionally, the AI Act mandates that companies developing and using AI in the EU implement robust governance measures and ensure that their AI systems are transparent, explainable, and subject to continuous monitoring. There is also a strong emphasis on data quality, as well as requirements for human oversight to ensure that AI decisions do not negatively impact individuals or society. Another crucial aspect of this legislative package is the AI Liability Directive, which complements the AI Act by making it easier for individuals to claim compensation for damages caused by AI systems. However, the future of this directive is currently uncertain, as it has encountered delays due to ongoing discussion about its overlap with existing liability frameworks and the broader implications of the AI Act. These regulatory efforts reflect the EU's commitment to fostering trustworthy AI, aiming to protect fundamental rights while encouraging innovation within a controlled framework. But what impact might the AI Act have on libraries? Well, libraries might need to ensure that any AI systems they employ are transparent and that their decision-making processes are explainable. For instance, if a library uses AI to recommend books or articles, the system's criteria may need to be clear to the users, and the library might be required to provide explanations on how certain recommendations are made. Also, libraries could become more involved in initiatives to develop ethical AI practices and tools that align with the EU's regulatory framework. Well, let's bring my presentation to a close. I hope to see many of you next year at the EBLIDA conference in Latvia. The theme will be Power and Resilience Books and Reading in the Age of AI in April. Please feel free to reach out to Elida or directly to me if you have any questions or would like further information. Thank you so much.